What's going on, everybody? So let's talk a little bit about how to most appropriately build muscle tissue, increase lean tissue, build strength, basically get your body to look aesthetically more pleasing, right? Now, we're going to talk a little bit about why circuits and those high intensity classes aren't very favorable to the idea of becoming more aesthetically fit, right? What I mean by that is increasing muscle definition, increasing lean muscle tissue, and obviously increasing any physiological markers that would promote a more pleasing, stronger looking body, right? So when you think about circuits, or you think about these styles of working out where it's kind of go, 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 right? Short rest periods, a lot of different exercises, not a lot of time to recover. That is training a different adaptation. At that point, we are training endurance, right? Muscular endurance. If we're trying to get our body to get more volume in a shorter period of time, shorten the rest periods, which will have a direct consequence on how much weight we can lift, well, we're no longer chasing the idea of pushing heavy loads and mechanical tension and even metabolic stress for that matter, right? Because if we're trying to chase metabolic stress, we would do something more higher volume for a continuous length of time. Well, we're taking 25, 30-second rest periods, or we're doing circuits where we're just doing like multiple exercises in a row without any rest period or 15 seconds worth, and we're doing that for like 5-6 exercises. At that point, your body can't actually restore the ATP necessary to produce a lot of force. So we're naturally going to have to limit the amount of weight we use, and the exercise is going to suffer because of that, right? And we're probably going to have to incorporate a lot of movement patterns that aren't sending a very loud muscle building signal. For example, let's think about if we're doing a glute circuit, right? We're not going to be able to go from sumo deadlifts to back squats to barbell walking lunges into RDLs back to back to back to back with sufficient weight. First off, it's very dangerous. That'd be really stupid to do. We're not going to be able to use sufficient loads. It's very neurologically and muscularly demanding on the body. So we're going to see this natural fatigue and central nervous system exhaustion take place. And like I said, it just doesn't make any sense, right? Because the load is going to be so minimal. Our structure is going to be compromised. We're going to have instability and weakness through the trunk at that point because we've had to stabilize for so long. So naturally, you would have to move over towards something like donkey kickbacks and abductions, maybe some hamstring curls, and what's another but inefficient or less efficient, let's just say fire hydrant. So you would be doing this circuit that's very low on the demanding side of things. So it doesn't send a very loud signal. It's still touching, it's still increasing the metabolic stress slightly. Obviously, we're pumping a lot of blood to the muscle without giving a lot of time for the blood to release from the muscle. So the circuit we'd be doing would be using less efficient, lower signaling movement patterns compared to doing straight sets of, say, a back squat, of doing a wide stance squat, doing a box squat, doing a sumo deadlift, doing a heavy Romanian deadlift, a heavy hip thrust, something of that nature, right? So this is why we need to understand that when we do things with very low rest periods and we're doing things in a circuit style, we're going to be using less efficient exercise methods and modalities and exercise selections that aren't going to be sending a very loud signal to build more muscle mass. So if your goal is, I want to increase how my body looks, right? I want to add more lean muscle tissue, I want to sculpt, and I want to develop my body so it looks more aesthetically pleasing, I want to shape it, I want to lift it, I want to round the muscles. We need to engage in smarter modalities, right? We need to engage in more design programs that are built around straight sets, lifting heavier weights, obviously increasing some more mechanical tension, doing more compound movements. Yes, there will be a period where we want to introduce things like supersets and giant sets, which again, you'd have to program intelligently. That way we can release a little bit more growth hormones, as studies show. But that would be the place where we're going to introduce a few more back-to-back exercises. but still giving your body a sufficient amount of rest, so then when we come back to set number 2 and set number 3, we can still push decent weight, and we can actually track our progress more appropriately compared to doing these crazy long circuits or big long workouts with very minimal rest periods, where we're really not training the adaptation of strength or hypertrophy. Like I said, going back to the beginning of this video, we are training more muscular endurance. It's a different adaptation. So don't be surprised if you're someone who always does these class style format workouts or very go circuit style workouts with less efficient, less loud signaling muscle building properties, that your body doesn't change all that much. Now, with that being said, and the last point we're gonna kind of highlight on this video, we want to adjust our training every 4 to 6 weeks, right? If you're constantly staying in the same rep range, the same set scheme, the same type of stimulus or stress to the body, it is going to adapt. You are not going to see a very favorable adaptation. Our body's really good at that. It's really good at adapting, which is a great thing, right? That way, our body doesn't break down as much. We become more efficient with calories and the stress that's being put on our body. However, when we're talking about building muscle tissue, adaptation, although our friend, becomes a hindrance when we don't change up the stimulus. So we constantly want to send a louder signal, a reason for the body to actually become stronger and build lean muscle tissue. It's not very favorable, evolutionarily speaking, to have more muscle mass and have more strength is a good thing, but have more muscle mass and become a bigger version of ourselves, because guess what? That's a very expensive system, right? That requires a lot of energy to maintain that muscle mass and that size. So if we don't send the signal to become stronger, to build and add more lean muscle tissue, our body isn't just going to do that. It needs the prerequisite signals and stressors to force that adaptation. So this is why we want to remove those circuit style, high intensity workouts from our routine, because we simply cannot send a loud enough signal to create the adaptation of more muscle mass or greater strength gains. So again, if your goal is endurance, having fun, and exercising, and doing things to kind of stimulate the muscle on a very small scale, continue doing the circuit style workouts, continue doing the high intensity workouts with the short rest periods. But if the goal, I'm assuming from watching this video, is to put on more lean muscle tissue, increase performance, get faster, become stronger, become more of a result-driven exerciser or trainee, feel free to engage in these practices of straight sets, and obviously giving your body enough rest periods to recover efficiently, and that way use a load that is going to send a much larger, much more effective signal towards the goal that you are pursuing. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Like always, subscribe, share, like the video. See you in the next one.